Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and a new video. We need to pick up on this van exactly where we left off. So guys, we established in the previous video, if you did miss that, please do go back and watch part one, that the lobes on the cam had moved. We've got a new cam for it, we've got a new cam belt kit for it, we've got everything we need today to crack on, get this one put back together, turn that key, still with our fingers crossed, and hope that this engine is saved. So there's going to be no waffle today. We're going to crack straight on with it. Let's get on. Just thought I'd actually quickly show this, guys, while I was down here doing it. I've got a drill bit there, locking out the crank, and up the top, when we come to put the cam in, that's exactly the same. On the end there of the cam, you can see you've got a hole, and of course, in the end of the cam carrier, you've got a hole as well. So just getting it all pinned up now so that I can get that cam in now, and then I am going to roll it back and put it on the ramp in order to move that locked up water pump, because it is obviously still full of water, so I need to catch all that, otherwise it's going to, I didn't want to do it now, otherwise I'm going to be down here working in the wet, because even though if you drain it off into a tray, it is still going to be dripping down. So I'll continue on. Sorry, also guys, a couple of those rockers there, you can see I've put brand new ones in. They was only £11 each, and the only reason I did it, I've got the old ones here, it feels a little bit sort of, you can feel there's a little bit of resistance in there, so I thought best off, for the sake of £11 each, there's another one here somewhere, I actually changed, there it is there, this one here, it's actually got quite notchy, so 2 new ones of them on there. We've checked all the others and they all seem to be fine, so a bit of oil on them in a minute and we get that camshaft in. So that's all timed up, guys. I've pinned up the crank and the cam, and I thought it's time to remove the water pump. I did manage to do it without making too much mess, and it was quite easy to get to there, and it was just, you can see there, 6 or 7, 8 mils around the outside, and as soon as I got it off, this is, I mean, you'll have to hold that for me there, Chris.
Can you see it all right?
You can spin that, but if we look, can we just have a look at the gap there in the fins at the bottom, and of course that gap at the top. As soon as we took this one off, you can see it's eating itself.
It's skew with as well, isn't it?
Yeah, proper. The bearings collapsed in there, and even when you turn it up that way, you can see. Yeah. And that is locked solid. Again, can we chuck that in the vise and just smack that, see if we can get it moving?
Probably, if you hit that there, knock it back through, it might free up.
Yeah, I'd like to stay live if that's all right, Chris. All it is, I think once you do knock that back through, it's not gonna, it's the bearing, you're gonna feel it in there, aren't you? That the
it's gonna be all wibbly wobbly.
Yeah. All right, as soon as you hit that casing, that'll just... Yeah, no, that's locked solid. That didn't have a chance, did it? Try and hit that casing.
No.
Yeah. That's knackered. So, moving along very nicely. Again, guys, I know that a lot of you will appreciate, especially you guys that do a bit of fitting. Down here, I can't get the camera in here. There's the hole. I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to fit that new water pump. We're going to chuck the belt on it, pull the pins out, give it a couple of turnovers by hand, a couple of full resolutions. Make sure that we're completely happy with it, and then we'll go ahead and put all of this back together. So let's crack on. Hopefully you can see that through there, guys, but that's the new water pump fitted, and also up there, you're probably not going to be able to see it actually. Yeah, you can. Put a new tensioner on there, and also a little bit above it you can see there's a nice new idler on there as well. So quite happy with all of that down there. That side of it is done. Up here now, you can see I've just rested that cover on the top. We're going to get all that bolted down, and then we'll slot the cam belt in. I'm gonna have to pin up the top again. It is bang on the mark, but it may have slightly moved, so we'll pin that up again, and then we'll put the belt on and turn it over a couple of times, make sure that it's all good, and then button it up and put the rest of it completely back together. I've still got my fingers crossed that we got lucky with this. I think we're going to be all right. So that is all back together. These are the only two that I haven't tightened up yet, just in case I do need to move that air box out of the way. But the belt's on there, everything's all tensioned up. I'm now ready to put the spanner on it. Chris, if you want to hold that there. Yeah. So you want to see the camshaft, go around 2 resolutions to my 1 resolution at the bottom, don't you?
Yeah, at least really, don't you?
Right. I'm on it. You ready?
Yeah.
There's one. Well, one.
It's just a firing stroke.
Yeah, firing stroke. Sorry. So far, so good.
Yeah. A little bit more, mate.
Yeah.
I think you're somewhere near. But you're going to pin it back up.
I am going to pin it back up one more time.
Keep going, a little bit more. Go on, keep going. Getting close. Bit more, bit more, bit more, bit more. A little bit more. Very, very close now. That's it, mate. Yeah, you're near as damn it, ready to pin that.
I am a little bit away here, so we might be a tooth out. I'm going to get my bottom one. That's it there. Is that about right, or is that a tooth out?
Well, you'll have to get the pins.
I will, yeah. Alright, cut there for a minute, mate, and I'll chuck these pins back in.
I'll hold that in there.
Sorry, mate.
Actually, that's spot on there, mate.
Is it? Yeah, let me
look.
chuck this in. I might have to just rock... Wrong one. I might have to rock it slightly. Oh no, straight in.
Yeah.
Trying to shine it down here on that bottom one. Didn't bring a torch, it's behind you.
Quite right, mate.
That's gone straight in as well.
Yeah, bingo.
So timing's bang on. All of this diesel that's down here, guys, I mentioned this in the first video. I said it stunk of diesel. And then I realised they've disconnected both diesel hoses up here. So obviously the pressure, the excess, had spat all over. Also, when I was taking out that leak-off hose, I actually broke the little green clip. Yeah. But fortunately, Chris did repair one of these that was flood damaged quite a while ago. He's Berlingo, you may remember it. And he's got the original engine in the back of the van out there. And lucky for us, it's got all of those in there, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I also noticed there's an engine mount bolt missing, various little bits, but you're going to have all of those on that engine, aren't you? So I'm just loosely now going to put the crankshaft sensor back on, basically put all this back together. We're actually going to fire it up, aren't we? Just make sure that it runs okay. Then I can go ahead and put all the covers back on, move on and get it all back together. But that is a good sign. There was no noises there and it all spun over lovely. So let's continue on. It is that moment of truth, guys. I've actually fitted all this, bolted it all up tight, because there's no reason for it to actually come back off, long as it all fires up and runs okay. All of these are done up. Everything is back where it should be. It is resting on a jack, just in a position to fire it up. So just getting a bit of power into the battery, because that was actually flat. And when I got this van, the windows was down probably that much. And the guy said he kept trying the button and they wouldn't go up because the battery was too flat. But I think what I actually did was disconnected the battery, connected it back up, and then they worked fine anyway. But I'm just going to wait for Chris to come out, because I want one of us to watch here while the other one's turning it over, or vice versa. So as soon as he gets back out and we've got a bit of life in the battery, we'll fire it up. I also have put a little bit of water in it, probably about 3 litres, and purely the only reason I've done that is because I don't want the water pump to run dry. It's not, I don't think it would hurt, it wouldn't, but it's best to have a little tiny bit of water in the system anyway. Where I've connected that hose back up down there, the clips back on that, all of these are all done up, everything is pretty much where it wants to be. So as soon as he gets out, guys, we go for that fire up, fingers crossed. It's the moment of truth, guys. I've got Chris in there on the keys, and I'm just going to keep an eye out here. If it does run and it all sounds okay, we're going to be turning it off pretty quickly, because it, like I say, it hasn't got much water in it. Yeah, you ready? Probably have to put your foot on the brakes this time. Sweet as a nut. Yes. A little bit longer. That sounds grand. Yeah, I ain't got a mount on it. That's perfect, mate. Turn it off. I'll have to turn this round. That's what, honestly, that's made my day. Mate, and we even caught you smiling.
Yeah, nice.
That does sound beautiful, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That really, really, really is good news. Right, let's get the rest of this put back together. Get it out on a road test, mate.
That's it, mate.
Hopefully today. Let's do it. Little bit of an update, guys. This is where you move on to the stumbling blocks. So I've got the bottom half of the cambelt cover all fitted back on there, and luckily it comes with the bolts that don't actually come out the cover. So all of the bolts was there with the cover. I've managed to bolt that back on, bolted the crankshaft sensor back on, and of course that bottom pulley. But moving round to the top, I mean, apart from a couple of little dust covers, we're out of bits now. So we've got no more bits. I've got the engine mounts to put on, but the engine mounts don't want to go on until that top cam belt cover's on. But we didn't get a top cam belt cover with it, so unfortunately we're a bit stuck there. But Chris, you've got no objections to me recording out there, have you? So if I just take you outside, guys, and show you in the back of the other van. We've got a complete engine here. This has done 11,000 miles, but it's flood damaged. You can see earlier I took that little cap off of that injector and used it for that engine, one of those little green clips. But Chris said all the covers will definitely be in here for this somewhere, so I've just got to go through all this and find the bits for it. And also this engine mount, one of the bolts was missing, so we need to find that as well. But I'm sure it'll all be in here. I'm going to make sure that I've got everything before I continue putting everything back together, because you don't want to be putting something on that you're going to have to then remove to put something else on again, if that makes sense. So I've got a lot of rifling to do. Check that out. Sorry Chris, can you turn them headlights off? Sorry, they're automatic, I think. That's why they've come on, haven't they? Check that out, guys. Sounds lovely. That's lovely, mate. Couple of little bits. I'm just letting it get up to temperature. It's got everything in there, hasn't it? We'll have a look at that in a sec. This cambelt cover that I got out the back of Chris's van is actually the wrong one. Although it's the same, because this van's Euro 6, it's got a lot more little different bits on it. And obviously this has to bolt somewhere. Also, the under tray is missing, and Chris hasn't got one on that van, and the wheel arch liner for the driver's side. Now, I did speak to the chap, and he said the garage that actually started taking the van apart called him, and they did have all these parts. He's picked them up, and he's going to be dropping the logbook into me Sunday, so he's going to bring them bits as well. Also, I've got a bolt out of the engine mount of Chris's, but check this out inside here, guys. I'm just letting it get up to temperature. It's done 65,000, turn the lights back on now I suppose. 65,000, let's try and turn that radio down before we get copyrighted. Can't work out what side it is, this side. 75,766 miles, and like I said earlier, it's got everything on it. Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, USB, and of course that automatic. I was just having a little play in here, and climate control. Really, really nice van. As soon as that guy arrives on Sunday, brings those bits, we'll chuck them on and we get this out for a road test, Chris, shall we?
Yeah.
I can't wait to have a go in it. Never driven an automatic van. So, quite weird. So guys, we'll be back on Sunday. It's actually Monday morning now, guys, and David, as promised, turned up on Sunday. The situation was the garage still had these bits, and he did have a private plate on it, so the logbook was no good. He had to wait for the new one to come through, and of course he come and dropped it off for me. So we've got the wheel arch liner, we've got the under tray, and also didn't expect to receive this, but he said the garage had this as well. So that is the proper cambelt cover with the bracket, and I can see in there even that bolt that was missing is in there. Guys, I know you're going to see those wheels in the back there. They're actually Fiat 500 wheels. And when I popped down Mark's the other day, he had a car just come in. I asked him how much they was. He charged me 100 quid, so I had to buy them. They got 4 16-inch tyres that are like new. I don't know why I bought them, but I did. So anyway, let's get all this fitted. Managed to get that wheel arch liner in there, guys. Torque the wheel back down, put all the covers back on it. Unfortunately, when it comes to the under tray, this is where it bolts to the wheel arch liners, and as you can see, the bolts are still in there, so they've actually been broken off the actual arch liners themselves. You can't actually see it because you haven't got it in the air now, and it's exactly the same the other side. Again, they've been broken off, so the only fixing points for this would be those 2 back ones and those 3 front ones, and unfortunately even that one has been ripped out as well, so there's not enough fixings to hold that on. Although the tray is fine, the tray will be fine, it's got a little bit of damage on it there, but well usable. It's not worth putting it on because it does ultimately, it needs a pair of wheel arch liners, just because those tiny sections are broken. There's nowhere to hold it, and there's nothing worse than having something like that flapping around underneath while you're trying to drive. So for the moment, until I can grab a couple of wheel arch liners for it, we're going to leave it as it is. The van outside doesn't have any wheel arch liners, we've already used them, so that is it. Let's get it out on a road test and see what it performs like. So guys, really weird, me and Chris have come down to this road. It was quite weird driving it automatic. It just don't, it feels a bit weird, but I guess we get used to it. So the way it changes gear,
It's quite smooth actually, isn't it?
yeah, but it's weird. It is really strange not having to change gear in a little Berlingo van or partner van. 5 gears, I wonder how many it's got. That's probably it, isn't it? Oh no, 6. 6 speed.
Nice.
at those tyres.
Yeah.
It's got those all-weather tyres on it, and I did say at the start, they sound terrible. I've had them on a car before. Well, that's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it goes along well, doesn't it?
See if you can feel it change down. 5, 4, 3. Very strange. Should we give it a run down dual carriageway?
Might as well give it a try.
It's got manual on it as well and paddles, but that's not something that's probably used, is it?
Engine's nice and quiet, isn't it?
It's nice and quiet. It drives really nice.
No noise from that cam, is there?
No. But those tyres, that'd annoy me. They're quite loud, aren't they? Can you hear them droning, Chris?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not going to go on about it too much. Right, we've got a funeral here, so we're back right off. We'll leave it there, Chris, I think.
Okay.
Guys, sorry about that. We put it down because there was a funeral. You was so like intrigued about it being an auto, Rob, you forgot like the engine's running smooth. We've just done the engine. It is running lovely, and the engine is very, very quiet. I mean, we'd expect it to be with a new cam in there, but it's lovely low mileage anyway. And what a tool, what a lovely van, automatic, and sounds lovely.
Yeah. Well, let's get a coffee, eh?
Definitely. Cleaned up like brand new, guys. It's immaculate, this van. They've done all in the back here as well. Oh, it's locked. Typical. Yeah, really happy with how that's turned out. And all inside as well. Just looks lovely. Right, that's it, I think. What a van, guys, and what a series. Only 2 videos, and that really, really is nice. I took it down there for that wash, and it just, the van, literally, you can walk around the whole thing, and it hasn't got a mark on it. Got no complaints with it whatsoever. We was just saying, actually, it's obviously quite near Christmas, and because we've changed that cam belt, normally I'll do like a good 200 miles in each vehicle before I sell them. And Chris just said, Rob, chuck a month's tax on it and actually use it all over the Christmas period.
I'd say for the next month, really.
Yeah, just to snag it and make sure that everything's okay. We're really, really confident in it. Sounds lovely. Definitely no valve damage there, but I'm going to be using that van. You better hope I don't get too used to it, mate. It's actually really nice, apart from obviously the drone of those tyres. So we are going to leave it there, and that is going to be the end of today's video. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching, and don't forget, follow us on Instagram, where we put out quite often little sneak peeks and updates on projects. Guys, I know quite a lot of you are going to completely ignore what I always say and reach out and say, I'll buy the van, how much is it? Nothing is ever for sale on this channel until we advertise it for sale on Instagram. So, we are going to leave it there. Like, subscribe and share on all your social networking sites. Merry Christmas, everyone, and we'll see you very, very soon in the next one.